Hello, good afternoon. My name is Kristine, as you know, otherwise you would not be watching me, hopefully by now. But today I'm coming to you from the gorgeous surroundings of Henley on Klip. And if you listen carefully enough, you might even be able to hear the cooing of the birds. I'm just going to give you a moment. Can you hear that? It's like idyllic. It's awesome. I'm visiting my sister and we sit at the dining room table. We look out over the pool. Right behind me, if you look far into the distance, you may be able to see the Fall Dam. No, not. You might be able to see the Base Lake. And I've spent a week here just in a state of flux. And I'm constantly having to convince myself that work is always going to be there. But it's the moments that I have with the people around me and being fully present in that moment that matters in the long haul. And you know what? It's only when I acknowledge that it's not just about how I manage my time, but also how I manage my energy at the same time. It's about how I choose to spend the most productive parts of my day well. And that is when I can truly be present, efficient, and highly productive. And I've realized that we need to work in sprints, right? We're in it for the long haul. But if you think about a marathon runner, they get cramps and it's unpleasant. So our brains are the same. They're not geared to be working in marathon mode. And what it prefers is to be working fast in a highly focused manner for a short period of time. Then it needs a break and you need to rest. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And if you've been listening in to our conversations this month so far, whether on Facebook or on Instagram, it's been all about productivity. And last week and the week before that, we spoke about choosing which are the right tasks to be focusing on. And for those that are not the right tasks, it's about figuring out how to get rid of them, right? Through elimination, automation, all of those things that we mentioned last week. But that's not where it ends, right? It's about making sure that we are managing not just our time, but our energy well as well. Because often we think about time management, we're like, we're getting the most out of our time all the time, and it stops at that. But it doesn't. There's so much more to our lives and to being productive than just making sure that we're eking out the last millisecond out of the time block that's available to us, right? So you know that time is a limited resource. There are other things that we can recover, but time is not one of those things. They aren't time machines in reality. So we can manage our time well, and we can use things like using timers or using routines or time blocks or goal setting or batching our tasks together well, or all of these other options. But where we really gain the greatest level of productivity is when we manage our time better during those times that we have available to us. Now, this might be a slightly foreign concept to you, so let's just unpack a little bit about what this actually means. So if you're managing your energy, it's about taking time between sprints of tasks that will help you to replenish yourself. It's about taking that little small mind breaks to make sure that you're getting time. And if you listen into our Instagram live yesterday, I spoke about the 60-10 rule that Robin Sharma talks about in the 5 a.m. club. And that is where we take 60 minutes, we work hard, and then for 10 minutes, we switch our focus onto something else. We give our brain a break. Okay, that's the first part. The second one is that we work on our hardest tasks during the times of the day that we have the most amount of energy and that we are feeling the most productive. Okay, and then the third part is what it means you leave your low energy tasks for those times of the day that actually you don't feel like doing anything at all. So whether it's like liking someone's comments on Facebook, or I don't know what your low energy tasks might be, but go do them during the times of day when you don't have much energy, as opposed to doing them when you do have a lot of energy, and then you're actually just depleting your energy on the wrong things, right? You're wasting your time. So if you want to successfully implement some of these energy management techniques, you need to get to grips with a few questions. Firstly, what is it that energizes you? What helps you to feel more fulfilled, energetic, and ready for the next task? Because these are those things that you're going to sit in those 10-minute blocks, for example, or when you are taking your breaks. What is it that you're going to be doing? It could be self-care, or it could be spending time with people that you love. Or it could be maybe going for a run or a walk around the block, so exercising. Or it could be journaling, or it could be reading a book. There's so many options. So think about what are those things for you. And also think about a range of options that take different amounts of time. Because sometimes we only have 10 minutes to refresh ourselves, and maybe sometimes we have half an hour. And other times maybe we're like so exhausted, it's the end of the day, and we know tomorrow's going to be a tough day, so we need to make sure that we are spending a little bit of time making sure that we are refreshing ourselves, okay? And we have much more time. So maybe it is going for a long bath. Yesterday we spoke about Epsom soaks, Epsom salt baths, there we go. And it could be that at night, right? So think about all of the different options that you have, because knowing which ones you have available to you and that you can just grab a book or quickly listen to a song, all of those is just going to help you be so much more productive. And then think about how you could potentially increase your breaks. So increase the frequency, not necessarily the duration of your breaks. So yesterday, as I said, we spoke about that 60-10 approach, 5 a.m. follows. So go check out yesterday's session on Instagram Live and just learn a little bit more about what they say there. But effectively, it's about the fact that we can only concentrate for a finite amount of time. And our brain needs to be able to get to the point where it can defocus or like stop focusing on that specific task. And then after that rest time, refocus again. And then think about how you could potentially go about celebrating some victories. So plan how you're going to reward yourself, or for each goal that you have and for each of those mini goals and baby steps that you have put in place, figure out like how can you celebrate those? Because if we don't take time out to celebrate those goals that we have achieved, we're just going to be demotivated all the time, because we're just going from one thing to another, and then what's the point of having a goal if you can't celebrate and can't enjoy the fact that you have achieved it, right? And then I want to encourage you to not just set out that reward or figure out how you're going to celebrate it, but actually implement it. That is the part that makes all the difference. And find some people to celebrate it with you. Our joy is so much greater when it's shared. So figure out who those people are that you could potentially share that with. And then the last one I want you to just think about is thinking about what chronotype you are. Now, chronotype, big word, but really all it means is, are you a morning, an evening, an afternoon person? Are you an owl, a lark? There are all sorts of words like that. Are you a bear? But really the bottom line here is to think about when in the day do you do your best work. And then once you know all of these things, you can start matching some of those high impact tasks to your most highly energetic times of the day. So maybe it's at midnight. I'm no longer a midnight person. I used to be, but I'm no longer. And if it is at midnight, then awesome. Then make sure that you're scheduling your best tasks and the ones that have the highest impact on your life and on your business for midnight, okay? It really just is about figuring out what is going to work for you based on where your energy levels are at during the day. And you might find that you start off really strong and then there's a bit of a dip and then you pick up again. Okay, it also has a lot to do with how we treat our bodies and the types of food that we're eating. All of those can either cause an energy spike or an energy slump. So you need to think about your day holistically. It's really about so much more than just managing your calendar well, right? So think about your tasks. Think about which tasks are urgent and important, like we mentioned last week with Eisenhower's matrix. But more than that, also start thinking about what energy level you need to commit to that. So some of those strategic tasks that we might have, they're probably going to be quite high energy. But other things, like I said, Facebook or LinkedIn, maybe that's low energy. Okay, so go rate each of your tasks, and then you can start batching them into pockets of time that make sense based on your energy levels and based on where you are at. And also just think about start documenting how you feel during the course of the day. Maybe every hour, just write down for the next week. Every hour, just track. How would you rate your energy on a scale of 0 to 10? And once you've started to do that over a period of time, you will start seeing some routines form. And once you have figured those out, it makes it so much easier to plan our tasks for when we will be able to get the most done. Just like a sprinter, the more sprints you do, with recovery in between, the fitter you are going to become and the faster you will learn to recover. And it's so much better than that marathon approach where it's so much more likely that we are going to burn out, right? We don't want to be in that space. We want to make sure our businesses are sustainable and the efforts that we are putting in are sustainable. So I would love to hear about how you are managing your tasks. Have you started to implement some of the things I suggested with the Freedom Compass? And then think about how are you going to incorporate this idea of energy management in your day. Are you a morning person? Which types of tasks do you need to put in specific slots during the course of your day? And all of it really is just about getting you to be more productive. And you might not really understand why I'm talking about productivity when we are talking about #Finance Friday, right? So next week I'm going to be helping you to close that link and to understand how productivity influences our profitability. So you can come tune in here next week, Friday at 1 p.m. and we will be chatting about that. It's going to be a really cool session. In the meantime, don't forget that we have our, can you hear the birds? Hardy does. Okay, so in the meantime, don't forget to join us for our application session that is all about digging into the details of your balance sheet next week, Wednesday. It's not too late to register for that session, and it is going to just be a time of looking through your specific business issues. You get your homework, you go work out your worksheet, and you can come ask us your questions in a coaching environment and be hot seated and learn from other people's experiences. And it's just really going to be an awesome time. So remember, our membership for August is 250 Rand per month. And the sooner you sign up, the sooner you're locking in your membership and you avoid future increases. So one content session and one application session 2 weeks later. I've already had really good feedback from the sessions we've had. So make sure that you do not miss out. Okay, so are we all good? Am I going to see you at the application session? Am I going to see you next week on Facebook? And remember, you can find all of our past Facebook Lives and our Instagram Lives on our YouTube channel as well. And we'll pop the link in the comments below so you can definitely go check that out. But otherwise, I'm going to see you same time, same place next week, Friday, and we'll be chatting then. Have a lovely day. Bye.